to present two parts. First of all, I will contrast ethnocentric, polycentric, and geocentric attitudes toward global business. Secondly, I will discuss the importance of regional trading alliances and global trade mechanisms. In first part, colloquialism is viewing the world solely through your own eyes and perspective. Polycentric is attitude managers in a host country know the best work, approaches, and practices for running their business. Geocentric is attitude a world-oriented view that focuses on using the best approaches and people from around the globe. The final part is about the importance of regional trading alliances and global trade mechanisms. The European Union consists of 28 democratic countries. NAFTA helps Canada, Mexico, and the United States strengthen their global economic power. ASEAN is a trading alliance of 10 Southeast Asian nations, and then World Trade Organization monitors and promotes trade relationships. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank Group provide monetary support. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development assists its member countries with financial support.
This guy, I'm Yi. Have you ever been hearing about international organizations? Yes, that's what I will tell you guys right now. A multinational corporation is a broad term that refers to any type of international company that will maintain operations in multiple countries. There are three types of international organizations. Firstly, one type of multinational corporation is multi-domestic corporation, which decentralize management and order decisions to the local country. This type of globalization reflects the polycentric attitude. A multi-domestic corporation doesn't attempt to replicate its domestic successes by managing foreign operations from its home country. Instead, local employees typically are hired to manage the business and marketing strategy are tailored from the country's unique characteristics. Secondly, global company, which centralize its management and order decisions in the home country. This approach to globalization reflects the ethnocentric attitude. Global companies treat the world market as an interactive whole and focus on the need for global efficiency and cost saving. Although the company may have considerable global holdings, management decisions with the company-wide implications are made from the headquarters in the home country. Thirdly, transnational and borderless organizations, which in the companies use an arrangement that eliminate artificial geographical barriers, reflect a geocentric attitude. This kind of organization often face pressure to reduce high costs and high pressure to meet local requirements. But how the company go global? The first way is global sourcing. When organizations do go international, they often use different approaches. Managers who want to get into a global market with minimal investment may start with global sourcing, which is purchasing material or labor from around the world, wherever it is cheapest. This way is also cheapest investment. The second way is exporting, means making products domestically and selling them abroad. The third way is importing, acquiring products made abroad and selling them domestically. The next is licensing. An organization gives another organization the right to make or sell its product using its technology or product specification. The fifth way is franchising. An organization gives another organization the right to use its name and operating methods. Strategies. island. In the fifth way, in the sixth way, is it when partnership between an organization and one or more foreign company partner both share resources, knowledge in developing new products or building production facility. For example, Honda Motor and General Electric team up to produce a new jet engine. A specific type of strategic island in which the partner agreed to form a separate independent organization for some business purpose is called a joint venture. This is the seventh way. The partnership provides a relatively easy way for companies to compete globally. Finally, managers make sure to directly invest in a foreign country by setting up a foreign subsidiary as a separate and independent facility or office. This subsidiary can be managed as a multi-domestic organization or as a global organization. As you can probably guess, this arrangement involved rated commitment and resources and pose the rated amount of risk. That's it. Thank you for your listening.
So now we will move to the topic how to manage in a global environment. First of all, we have to consider the political and legal factor. It is recommended that the managers they have to stay informed of the specific laws in a specific locations where they start their business. In the USA, the managers are accustomed to a stable legal and political system. Some countries in the world they have very risky political climates. For example, racism, terrorism, kidnaps, and so on. So that's why the managers they have to look carefully about all of the political environment in the place before doing the business. We have two kinds of economic environment. The first one is the free market economy and the second one is the planned economy. So with the free market economy, this is the economic system that is controlled by a private sector. But with the planned economy, it is controlled by the central government. So now we will look into the cultural environment. The national culture is something that the values and the attitudes shared by individuals from a specific country and that shape their behavior and beliefs about what is good and what is not good. We would look at the Hofstede framework for assessing the cultures. He has 6 dimensions to classify the cultures. For example, individualism and collectivism. The second one is power distance. The third one is uncertainty avoidance. The fourth one is achievement. The fifth one is long-term orientation and short-term orientation. Now, we have to consider the difference to consider the global management in the today's world. For example, they have to face the challenge of openness, the increased threat of terrorism by a truly global terror network, so the economic interdependence of trading countries. Also, they have cultural intelligence, cultural awareness and sensitive skills, global mindset, attributes that allow a leader to be effective in cross-cultural environments.
Hello everyone, my name is Như. In this video, my friend was talking about the theory of chapter number 4. So now I'm going to talk about the case study. First, I will give you the brief introduction about the case study. So in late 2008, Lehman sought Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Nomura bought Lehman to expand its business. Cultural and business differences between the two organizations become a major stumbling block. So now we move to the question number 1. What obvious cultural differences between Nomura and Lehman do you see in this situation? So there are 9 differences in this situation. Number 1, work environment cultures. Number 2, tension over executive compensation. Number 3, how quickly decisions were made. Number 4, treatment of women in workplace. Number 5, the process for getting approval on deals was slower and more difficult than before. Number 6, men and women were separated during training. Number 7, strict dress code especially for women. Number 8, previously clients were categorized according to the fees paid. And finally, after Nomura took over, more emphasis on other factors like length of the relationship. Let's move to the question number 2. What global attitude do you think characterized Nomura? And do you see any evidence of that changing? There are 2 attitudes that characterize Nomura. First, ethnocentric attitude, and second is geocentric attitude. Initially, Nomura adopted the ethnocentric attitude. They believe that their own people are the best choice to run foreign operations, and that the practice of the Tokyo HQ should be adapted at their overseas office. Progressively moving towards a geocentric attitude, Nomura started promoting a mixture of nationalities from Europe and Asia to their high-ranking position, also transferred 2 of their Japanese heads of division to London and New York. So now we will move to the question number 3. Do some cultural research on Japan and United States. Compare those cultural characteristics. What similarities and differences exist? How might these cultural differences be affecting the situation at Nomura? So first, I will compare the 4 cultural characteristics. Number 1, speed and consistency. Number 2, roles and responsibilities. Number 3, risk takers and risk averse cultures. Number 4, heterogeneous and homogeneous cultures. Okay, so first let's talk about speed and consistency. So generally, American companies are quick in decision making. Superiors give some great leeway and subordinates so that they can decide and make decisions quickly. So for Japanese companies, decision making is done in stages. These stages are packed by plenty of meetings and documentation. There's a high level of bureaucracy. They are very cautious and conservative, and sometimes slower than American. And next is roles and responsibility. So the US companies' roles are very individualized. Individual contribution is very important as linked to company goals. But in Japan, they require individual input towards the whole group but recognize that the whole group must succeed, otherwise the individual's contribution has no meaning. Risk takers and risk averse cultures. So if Americans are challenged to achieve a certain goal, they will say we can do it, even when they themselves believe that there is only 50 to 70% chance of succeeding. After they have accepted the challenge, they will do what it takes to achieve as close to 100% success. And For the Japan, if the Japanese feel like it's possible to achieve most likely 100%, they don't say yes. They are careful when making an agreement as they want to be upgraded. They make sure it's exactly 100%. Okay, next. Heterogeneous and homogeneous cultures. So since US is multicultural, the organizations usually consist of multinationalities, which means there are many different ways of thinking. A Japanese organization is usually managed by only Japanese. Almost everyone has the same background, so most of the time there is no need for spoken words in many situations. Everyone knows what is expected of them. This is one of the most important communication skill in Japan. Let's talk about the question number 4. What could Nomura managers do to support, promote, and encourage cultural awareness among employees? So there are 4 ways that Nomura managers can do to support the cultural awareness. First, education, celebrate diversity, company leadership, and diversity training. So for the education, they can build cultural knowledge and its benefits. For celebrate diversity, like holidays policies, hosting a staff dinner with the theme of cultural awareness. And for the company leadership, seek out minority employees for leadership positions, and diversity training can help employees to recognize prejudice and cultural assumptions. Okay, so let's go to the question number 5, the last question. What do you think the statement, when your business is global, management needs to be global, is saying? In your opinions, is Nomura doing this? Now I will answer the question number 5. So it is the need to move towards a geocentric attitude that requires eliminating parochial attitudes and developing an understanding of cross-cultural differences. So Nomura is trying to apply this attitude and is in the progress of moving towards being geocentric for a better working environment for its staff and for the business.